All right, hey everyone, welcome to Tellor Dev Call, Halloween edition. Yeah, big news this weekend. We got quorum. Kind of out of, yeah, kind of out of nowhere. We had like on Friday the discussion of like, oh shit, this isn't gonna pass, and then one of the big reporters came through and voted actually, and he pushed us over the edge. So it was like super exciting. So
we were about like 1,600 votes over quorum.
now we're like 1,600 votes over quorum.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it sounds like that makes it sound like we're not at 5.08%.
Right.
Yeah. We barely made it, guys. But we did make it. Super exciting. So, yeah. So definitely. If you still want to vote, go and vote. It's like $1. Go vote.
Yeah.
You can be part of history. Anyway, so it looks like the upgrade, it'll go through, tally votes tomorrow, execute on Wednesday around 2 p.m. for transparency purposes. So go get ready. If you're a reporter, get ready. You're going to have to restake on the new contracts. You can actually go stake on the new contracts now if you want.
If you have extra tokens.
If you have extra tokens, but everything basically just unlocks at Wednesday at 2. So yeah, if you have any questions, definitely reach out and do that. Other news, things we're working on. I'm gonna work on some data types. So we gotta push that toxicity thing out the door, Tim. Taking way too long. Akram, we're gonna hit you up on the True Node stuff or True Block stuff. We're gonna get that out the door like today or tomorrow. Got to make that a priority and push it out. Same with the cross-chain balances. That's like the same issue as far as grabbing balances. The other thing too, we were talking, Tim's gonna be helping the guys with sushi set something up. That looks promising. But they were talking about like, or no, it was the mimicry guys we were talking to. They were talking like, what would you do if you wanted like combo data types? And so if you wanted like a price and a total supply at the same time, and you can do that, but like how would you specify it in the data types piece? Would it be like mimicry and then both of them? Or would you specify them separately? And I was thinking we could have like, this is maybe getting too in depth for the dev call, but like you could go like a combo data type to where like you do a query ID and it's combo data type, and then you specify which ones you want in there.
So the query ID is called combo.
It's like combo data type, and then you can specify which ones you want, and you can sort of just add and layer on. That way you don't need to like, because like if you let's say you made a specific mimicry one, and then you wanted to update it later, then does it break? Would you need to do a mimicry 2 if you wanted to add one? You know, same with like Diva, if they wanted to add an extra data point to it. It would be way cooler if you had like, you know, this is the specific one, and then it's all wrapped under like a combo data type.
For like immutable contracts that want to save gas.
For immutable contracts that want to save gas, or just for like clarity as far as like, that way we don't have to go back ever and update query data types. Because like ideally what you would never want to do is say like, this is how we define a data type, and then we go and change it later. Like you wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah.
Because it would sort of like, unless there was like a big reason like that this one's broken or isn't clear. You wouldn't want to say like, we're going to change it from returning a uint to returning 2 uints. Like that's not as good as saying like handling it on almost the user side. So I'm going to put like a spec together and submit that. So if you guys see that one, get ready. Give me your thoughts. Try and think it over. I see Tim chewing it over in his mind right now. So, yeah, that'll be good. Owen, on to you first.
I need to make some updates to the Diva Telia code. So they updated their contracts. So calling Siphon or Workbench Valley no longer requires the Diva Diamond interest. So that should be somewhat simple. Last words. And so the other question I had was for like the faucet for Gorley, Tim said that there's like a specific, like we need test Gorley from one of y'all who have it. You can't just like call the faucet, or do
Yeah, I
we
think-
ignore that and just use the playground faucet one? I mean, because like the faucet's for like hackathons.
It's not the test TRB that's hard to get. It's the it's
Like
the test
real
Gorley.
fake
Test
TRB.
key. Yeah.
Yeah, because Gorley is a copy of mainnet now, and it has a real a real TRB token.
Yeah.
So you're
I
saying
guess-
we have to, we like,
Yeah.
so basically it's just like whichever address we're gonna use to like run the faucet, like I just send that to you guys and you're gonna send me a bunch of this special TRB. Okay, and then I just transfer it. Okay. Got
Yep.
it. Cool.
Cool.
We can load it up.
Yeah. We can. Yeah, being the only miner over on one of these networks gives you a whole lot. So we're not short. Cool. Sounds good, Owen. Tim.
So I made like my first pass over the docs last week for updating to 360. So I can pass that along to someone else.
Yeah, we already merged it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and I found one other error and made another PR. Or I at least made a push. Let me make sure I made the PR. But then otherwise, yeah, that's good to pass on. And then it looks like the graph finally synced on all those balances. So
Give it a shot.
there's also that. So yeah, I'm working on getting that out.
Oh, can you rerun the tests this time? Take the
Oh,
voting piece out. So like
Yeah.
make sure it passes, make sure the current vote tally passes.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
And then we'll be
Speaking of the
good.
docs, Tim, do you think,
Uh-huh.
this is actually a good opinion for anybody, but do you think that now in the fundamentals section, it's worth having a paragraph about immutability? There's like it occurs to me with Tellor 360, there's maybe a new fundamental aspect to it, which is the removing of the upgradability, but I don't know if we had that strong of a stance on immutability as a team. Maybe worth a discussion to see if we want to add something to that section.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that is a pretty fundamental change we're making.
Mhm.
It's a system that's always going to work. If you want to just keep using it, it's always going to be there. Yeah, that might be good.
Cool.
Right. And then you got the sushi thing too, Tim, right?
Sushi thing too, yeah, which there's a couple assumptions. I might want to talk to you about what the assumptions are actually after looking
Perfect.
at that.
Yeah, you can just stay on or something.
Okay.
A creme.
I was focused on writing the smart contract Teleflex on Pact. Started writing that finally after getting my head wrapped around their syntax. But I'll shift focus to tool blocks. That's more important.
Yeah, talk to Tim. Well, Tim might be able to do with the graph now. But I'll reach out to you. I'll schedule time to talk to you, show you what I need.
Okay. And the Pact contract, when is there like a deadline or first draft deadline or something like that?
What did we say, Brenda? You know,
For the what?
for the Cadena Pact
Yeah.
contract. What's the deadline on that? Is there one?
Yes,
It's like a month or
well,
two.
I can check the milestones, but I don't think we have exact dates. We just have the milestones set, like for
Yeah.
them to disperse the grant.
Yeah, I mean, I would.
But I think we said like a month.
Yeah, I would target like a month. So
That's perfect because I'm shooting for at least a first draft by the end of this week.
yeah, I mean, it's not urgent, but it's not, if you push it off too long, it could be too big to knock out in a week. So So make sure you just stay on top of it.
Okay.
And also just to like get an idea of how difficult the language is, and
Yeah.
is
After,
it similar to anything you already know?
no, absolutely
No.
not. Totally. But after like spending a couple days with it, it feels like it's pretty easy.
Okay, cool.
So
All right. Ryan, anything?
The fund to feed is now fully functional with the new addresses, and we got that also feeding into the tip table that's now updated to show the he made a couple fixes there, so that's all kind of fluid now. I'm gonna still need to add Gurley, but we just had to kind of knock out a couple of those things that affected the data feed before I did that, so I'm gonna focus on that. And then I'm heading out to San Francisco with some of the team here for ETH San Francisco.
Oh yeah. So if you're watching the call, a lot of us, not me, we'll be out in San Francisco. So definitely hit us up.
We're gonna have a table, so come visit us.
Mhm.
It's I went in 2019. It's one giant room, guys. Like it's not.
Same location.
Yeah, like the location is like, just think like a gigantic room with thousands of people in it.
Okay.
It's huge. So
Is it super cold?
it's San Francisco. It's either 90 degrees or 50 degrees.
And it's
so,
right off the water, Brenda. It'll be cold outside.
I don't know.
But with 1,000 people inside a big room, I don't know. Is it gonna
Yeah.
be really
No,
cold,
but
or
it's
is it
like-
gonna be like
It's not. It's a giant, like it's the Palace of the Arts. So you guys went there before. Like it's, 100-foot ceilings or whatever. like it's a giant place. So it's cool. Anyway, thanks, Ryan. Tally, anything?
Yeah, I'm working on the change on the disputable values monitor so that it borrows endpoints and configs from Telliot. And in that, it does not just that, but it's going to aggregate data from multiple chains on one instance.
Super cool.
Yeah, because right now it's one, you run it and it reads just from one chain.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
And now that you mentioned that, Tim, what was the service that we used to do to listen in for anything that is reported for Tellor address, autopay addresses, and TRB? Remember, we set up something
Oh, yeah.
else with
Open Zeppelin Defender.
Open Zeppelin.
Cool. Spotty?
I might make one quick pull request for Telliot so that people can use it to submit on Tellor 360 when it goes live. But it's also using a lot of gas on GoReally, and I don't know why. So I got to figure out what's going on with that, because GoReally gas is not the easiest to get. Other than that, I'm like Ryan, I'm gonna get ready to go to San Francisco and make sure we have all these t-shirts packed up, ready to go.
And then, shit, I was gonna say something. I'll remember better. All right, Brenda, Mike, anything?
Nope, nothing to add.
Cool. Oh, and if Ryan, if you want to tweet it out today, this is the inaugural anniversary of the Tellor Thriller video. So.
Oh my God, that's
It
yes.
is time. It is time.
It is time.
We've been waiting.
Dig it up from the crypt.
Hey, they loved it the first time around. You're gonna love it again.
Well, and then
Oh my God.
like a month later is the year anniversary of Just Got Tellor. So
Yep.
it's
Bring it back.
good stuff, guys. All right. Any questions?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's a topical one. Can you tell us what happened with Liquidity and how it's being fixed? And the reason
Yes.
why this is coming up again is because Chris Black just recently caught up with, Liquidity themselves announced the fix not too long ago, back in September, but Chris Bleck just recently tweeted about it. And I think he's going to want to actually put together some content. He mentioned to me he was going to try to put together a round table because he finds the topic interesting, which it is, at least from Liquidy's angle. So yeah, I think people are now interested in it, and yeah. So who wants to take that one?
Yeah, I got it. Basically, the way that Liquity is using Tellor, right now it uses Chainlink and then it falls back to Tellor if Chainlink ever goes down or the prices differ. The issue is that whenever they're reading the Tellor value, they don't actually wait to read the Tellor value. They just read the most recent one. The problem with that is somebody could stake and put a bad value in, and then they could instantly read it, like all in the same block. The problem is that that's not a good way to use Tellor because you want to wait for a dispute. So we put the value on chain, everybody can look at it and decide whether or not it's a good or bad value, and then you dispute it. And that's how Tellor works. So they sort of implemented it incorrectly. Originally, I think it had to do with to defend them. It was, like we had previous versions where like we had 5 different miners and we would take the median. So you had some protection there. It wasn't great protection, but I think that would be the argument of why it was slightly more acceptable. Anyway, long story short, there's not really a whole lot of we can do to fix it, except for the fact that we're using our one last final upgrade right now. So they like jumped in right at the beginning, and so they're using ETH US dollar price on. It's actually a legacy ID. So all the new contracts, everybody else reading anything from Tellor is using newer bytes 32 IDs, but Liquity is using a really old one because they've been live with us for so long, and it's a UNT ID. So it's UNT ID number 1. Mm-hmm. This is actually really convenient because we can now just say like, if it's ID 1, whenever you ask for the value, return the value that's 15 minutes old. That way you build in a dispute period for them in our contracts, and it doesn't affect any other users, it just affects them. So it was super convenient as far as them reaching out to us about it and wanting to go through with this change. Anyway, so as of Wednesday, they'll have that nice 15-minute buffer delay in there. So that is, in a nutshell, what happened. So, cool, Spotty.
Do reporters still need to submit for ID 1?
That's actually a really great question. Reporters do not need to submit for ID 1. Reporters, so this is part of the other update. So we removed all legacy IDs. So people would be like, oh man, why would you remove all legacy IDs? Liquity is still using ID 1. We just map it over to the new ID for them too. We thought that this would be a good time to change that too. So now all the new reporters will just report to the new ETH US dollar spot price. And then whenever they look for ID 1, which is the legacy ETH US dollar spot price, it'll actually be the new spot price that's 15 minutes old.
Yeah.
So no more legacy IDs.
We're going to be discouraging the old ones, right?
Well, you can't. You won't be able to report for legacy IDs anymore. So you won't even have the option to report for old ones.
Right. Strongly discouraging.
Strongly, it's very strongly discouraging. You'll just be wasting your gas. So, all right, that's about it. Any other questions?
I think that was it.
All right, cool guys.
Other users can use it too. I don't know if you mentioned that.
What? Other users could, theoretically, if you wanted to read ID 1, you could as well.
Yeah.
Once we put something on chain, it is there forever. So, but we recommend people using the newer spot price and just doing it correctly from the get-go and not using the workaround.
And from their system, it's better for you to design your fallbacks the way that you need them rather than, one of the reasons we're implementing this change is because they are immutable and they cannot change it.
Right.
Yeah. And I mean, we love the way that Liquid uses us as a fallback, but if you are implementing it, there there's nuances to the liquidity system that make that a good choice, and there might be different trade-offs in your system. So happy to help discuss that. So, all right, thanks everyone. Have a great Halloween, and talk to you next week.